Hello, bruvs. We're back with new book arrivals, number 310. And these are books I picked up today and um, whenever Halloween was, Saturday, Friday. First book, Ayn Rand, The Romantic Manifesto. Book I've probably half read before. D. Hirsch Residence at the 92nd Street YM and YWHA, Sandra Cohen. New York, New York. Um, this is nonfiction philosophy by Rand. She definitely wrote more nonfiction books than she did fiction books. Although Atlas Shrugged is pretty accurate as for history, just not the exact participants. In this beautifully written and brilliantly reasoned book, Ayn Rand throws a new light on the nature of art and its purpose in human life. Once again, Miss Rand eloquently demonstrates her bold originality and her refusal to let popular catchwords and conventional ideas stand between her and the truth as she has discovered it. The Romantic Manifesto takes its place beside the Fountainhead and Atlas Shrugged as one of the most important achievements of our time. Jules Verne's 5 weeks in a balloon, 7 adventures in a wild race against death across Africa, retold for modern readers by Gardner Fox, from the screenplay by Irwin Allen, Charles Bennett, Albert Gale. Now an exciting Irwin Allen production released by 20th Century Fox. Fox, that is. Wonder if this is on YouTube. I only bought this for the cover. I mean, the fact that it's abridged. What's this say? Oh, my dear Code of? Why would you need a modern version, bruv? The Flying Madman. How is he? Page 3. Made for each other. S. Bowie and Scythe. Anyway. Next book, Agatha Christie, The Clocks, a Hercule Poirot novel. I have so many novels of Agatha Christie up there on the wall that don't look at my spot on the ceiling. That it's embarrassing that I've never read one of her books. But I plan to read one of her biographies in the future here. Christmas Curiosities. Let's see if I can get this damn sticker off here. Odd, Dark, and Forgotten Christmas by somebody. I can't see his name because I guess I could just. Alright, we'll just give up on that. Let's see some odd Christmas stuff. Whoa, get those legs together, buddy. A Christmas Greeting with Love. I'm in a teapot, bruv. In a teapot. John Grossman. Contents: Christmas as you've never known it. Hey, there's Frosty looking pissed and demonic. A concern of respectable people in the early 19th century, whether in Boston or London, was the idleness and dissipation of young boys. Generally working class during the holidays, snowballing was especially popular. Popular among gangs of young miscreants hanging around neighborhood street corners, making noise, drinking, firing guns, and playing tricks on people. This was especially threatening to upright citizens who could and did get hurt by snowballs. There you go. Little Johnny's riding a fucking bat. Again, he's riding a bat. Little night music during the Christmas season in 18th century England and the. I hate this damn flash, but If I turn it off, you're not going to be able to see anything. Yeah, that's no good. 18th century England and the United States, the incredibly loud and annoying music of roving Calithumian bands. What the hell is that word? Calithumian. No, Calithumian. I don't know how to say it. The thump part of the name being especially descriptive kept respectable citizens awake with incessant banging of pots and pans, rude noises, shouting, catcalls, beating drums, blowing horns, and discordant playing of handy instrument. So basically, a religious Antifa. And they would burn down the city too. No thank you and scram, the reverse side of the same card from around 1890, shows the low regard in which the amateur seasonal serenaders were held. Why the frick this is so... Let me lay it down like this. Christmas roast rat. Let's have some roasted rat. A great feast being prepared by fur-clad elves and fairies in a frozen fairyland. This was a world many Victorians firmly believed existed. They would have expected the wee folk to celebrate the season just like humans. Another bat. Why is there a witch? Witches. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas. The dark side of Christmas. People got it into their heads, particularly in old Europe, that during the 12 days of Christmas, witches and various threatening spirits flitted around in the winter skies. It was thought that the dark forces roamed the earth at this time, intending to do evil, because they were enraged at the celebration of the Savior's birth. Means were devised to keep the evil spirits at bay. Fires were kept burning all night. Why the hell is this going? All right, I just give up. This book's cursed. It's cursed, bruv. No one wants to see it. A Season in Hell and the Drunken Boat by Arthur Rimbaud. Obviously, it's poetry and some schlock. Bad blood, I have the white blue eye of my Gallic ancestors, their narrow skull, and their clumsiness in fighting. I find my clothes as barbarous as theirs, only I don't butter my hair. The Gauls were the most inept flayers of beasts and scorchers of grass of their time. From them chew idolatry and love of sacrilege, all the vices, anger, lust, magnificent, above all, lying and sloth. I have a horror of all trades, masters and workers, base peasants all. The hand that guides the pen is worth the hand that guides the plow. What an age of hands! I shall never have my hand. Afterward, domesticity leads too far. The honesty of beggars sickens me. Criminals disgust like castrates. As for me, I am intact and I don't care. All right, emo. Captain Emo here. Rimbaud. Oh my God. A Rock Against the Wind, African American Poems and Letters of Love and Passion. Relationship. I need to be with me now. I need to let myself love me deeply, care for me tenderly, help me carefully. I need to take me in my arms, rock myself into a deep sleep, and rest until my spirit rises, renewed and willed for a work long overdue. That's great. Let's get a letter. I'm up for some letter. Where's a letter? There was letters. Poems and letters. The hell are these poems or letters? There we go. Letter, father to a son. No, we want father to a daughter. Dear Tracy. Love letter. Dreaming and thanks for the loving. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Letter to my overseas lover. Dear lover, wear it lightly, this unnamed treasure that we found waiting and created together. Wrap it around you on days when your souls touch the ground, on days when your heart feels the draft and not the wind, on nights when silence is not a friend, on nights when you would cry to hear a balafon sing. Tuck all of it, this sweetness, this soft, moist mystery, into a place, space. And when you need it, wear it lightly and smile. Smile for us, love Sandra Sharp. Great. Annie's Ghost. A journey into a family's secret. I have about 20 copies of this book, but since this one is, I believe, signed, I thought it was signed. I saw a signature somewhere here. You telling me I grabbed the wrong book? Where the hell's it signed at? Did I imagine that whole thing? I'm telling you, this is signed somewhere. There it is. To Phyllis. Every family has its stories. Steve Luxembourg. May 22nd, 2014. This lady, or this guy, found out that he had an auntie. Bookmark artwork created by Hank Cormill. He found out he had an aunt in a mental institution, a psychiatric ward, and her name was Annie, I assume Luxembourg. Don't know, Annie Cohen. And she was at Eloise in Michigan. It's outside of Detroit. And he found out all this stuff about her. Since I have 20 copies, you'd think I'd read at least a chapter, but what I read was pretty damn boring, so. But it's signed, so. I got it. Glenn Beck. The original argument, the Federalists' case for the Constitution, adapted for the 21st century. And I don't plan to read this or sell it because it's not worth jack shit, but look at this, glennbeck.com. Does he really have a site? I guess he would. Why wouldn't he? So it's basically just about the Federalists, so can't hurt having a 25-cent book about the Federalists. Forgotten Time, the Yazoo, Mississippi Delta After the Civil War by John C. Willis. Another quarter book. But this one's a more scholarly subject. Glenn Beck is hardly a scholar, but I guess he researched. John C. Willis's moving story of the Mississippi Delta country after the Civil War presents an historical tapestry both inspiring and tragic. With impressive archival command, he reveals that, contrary to long-standing assumptions, hundreds of freed men acquired thousands of fabulously productive acres in the Delta after the Civil War. By the mid-1890s, however, those landowners fell victim to hostile banks, white chicanery, disastrously low cotton prices, and the failure of a flawed post-Reconstruction political fusion of wealthy whites and compliant blacks. Willis's canvas is filled with fascinating characters, from Colonel William A. Percy, a fair-minded paternalist, to freedman Bolin Lucas, who defied fate and man to uphold his ideas and property. Righteous Discontent, the Women's Movement in the Black Baptist Church, 1880 to 1920. Nice outfits. Evelyn Brooks Higginbotham. Botham. I believe this book's marked up. Is that some sisters back here? Hell yeah, Victorian sisters. Nice dresses. I wonder how long it took to sew some shit like that. That's insanity. The female talented 10th. All right. Jonathan Rand, Michigan Chillers. Terror Stalks, Traverse City. And I usually only buy these when they're signed, as this one is. This guy seems to have signed a lot of books. Wonder how much money this dude made off all these books. There's got to be at least 50 or 60 of these by now. And he seems to sign a lot, so that must mean he's not making a lot. How much are these? $6 a piece. So you figured if he gets 10%, what's that, 60 cents? You'd have to sell millions to get rich. But I wonder how much money this dude has from these books. I've got quite a bit of these. I need to sell all of them. All of them. It's not like I'm going to read them. Dick Sutphin presents Sedona, Psychic Energy Vortexes. Is it John Lennon? It's John Lemon, buddy. Sedona, Arizona is the location of a vortex energy center that enhances all psychic abilities. Thousands of people have had incredible metaphysical experiences here, ranging from direct contact with spirits, visions, and healings to strange manifestations and effects. Many of the experiences set forth in this book are told in their own words. Oh, yeah, they are told. Let's hear one of them. From the moment we entered the vortex area, I felt an inexplicable euphoria overtake me. The feeling was akin to having consumed a few drinks without the negative effects of alcohol. After 3 hours of sleep, I had no trouble at all completing the 10-hour drive to my California home. I mean, that's almost a miracle. Let's see what else. I had been away from the Sedona area, perhaps off the earth, since the flooding surprised me. As I saw the canyon flooded about halfway to the top, I was convulsed with anguish for the lives that had been lost. I perceived a buried large crystal, or maybe a special stone. It was creating a form of powerful energy, like a buried transmitter in the Boynton Canyon area. My most intense impressions were of the great sense of love and harmony in this area. This book I bought to resell. I think I've sold one of these before. Unveiled Mysteries Original. It's a very... What's his name? Godfrey Ray King. Why the hell does this... Why don't you want to... Go back and then forward. Such a generic book. The Magic Presence by Godfrey Ray King, Saint Germain Press. I am activity of Saint Germain Foundation. It's like some goddamn cult. This series of books is dedicated in deepest eternal love and gratitude to our beloved Master Saint Germain, the Great White Brotherhood, the Brotherhood of the Royal Teton, the Brotherhood of Mount Shasta, and those other ascended masters whose loving help has been direct and without limit. The year 1982 represented the 50th anniversary of beloved Saint Germain's transcendent instruction and teaching given to the mankind of earth through our beloved accredited messengers, the Royal Teton, the Sahara Desert. As I said, I'm selling this book. I don't really believe in this kind of bullshit. Favor the Bold D.A. Kinsley. Custer, the Indian fighter. The second and concluding volume of D.A. Kinsley's fast-paced, colorful biography of George Armstrong Custer begins with the Grand Parade in Washington, D.C., celebrating the end of the Civil War. War hero Custer pranced up Pennsylvania Avenue on Don Juan, a magnificent, high-spirited, thoroughbred bay dressed in the gold spurs Santa Anna wore at the siege of the Alamo, and a star-emblazoned black turnip, and stole the show when his horse bolted and he magnificently regained control. The book then follows Custer through his support of King Andy Johnson's ill-fated Reconstruction policy and the political machinations and confusion that brought on the Indian Wars and put Old Curly at the head of the 7th Cavalry. This book's in pretty good shape. 2 volumes. Too bad I only have frickin' one. Or is this 2 volumes in one? No, this says the second and concluding. Well, I didn't see the second one at the store, so. I mostly got it because it was half off. And it was 99 cents, plus it has a Mylar jacket. And if the book is worth nothing, I will take the Mylar off and repurpose it. I hate these damn stickers. Get 'em, boy. Is that actually white? Or is that purple? Or pink? I think that's white. That is white. Or is that pink? I think it's pink. It just looks white in the light. See, this son of a bitch will come off. What's better than watching some half-wit pull off a sticker on YouTube? There he is, Custer. Favored the bold. Oh my God, get off my finger, you fucking sticker. Alright, that's that. Good God's Glory, Neighbor's Good, Sattler. Gary R. Sattler. Looks like Michael Persh from Rhythm Corps. From the library of Mr. and Mrs. Warren Barth, Dearborn Evangelical Covenant Church Library. Okay. A brief introduction to the life and writings of August Hermann Frank, Germany, in the age of the Baroque. The life of August Hermann Frank spanned both the 17th and 18th centuries. Born into the upper class in 1663, was intellectually a child of the civil Lutheranism. What's he know? Theological Afterthoughts, the Bible Institute, Ecumenism, Providence, Frank, the pasta. Beowulf by Shay Maney, a new verse translation. I believe I have this somewhere, but I don't know where the hell I put it. And I believe that my copy is all marked up, which is why I believe I bought this. But since I don't know where the hell my original is, I can't. I only have about 10 different copies of Beowulf. But this is done by Seamus Haney and is a newer translation. Bilingual. The hell was this written in? Gaelic? Danes, Scandinavia, so Norway or something. Major Tales and Poems by Edgar Allan Poe. The Black Cat, Major Tales and Poems. 2009, J.W. Edwards. The Premature Burial. I still haven't read very much Poe. But I found it on Halloween night at the thrift store. So I had to get it. How can you not get it on Halloween night? True. Nervous. Very, very dreadfully nervous I had been and am. But why will you say that I am mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed, not dulled them. Above all was the sense of hearing acute. I heard all things in the heaven and in the earth. I heard many things in hell. How then am I mad? Hearken and observe how healthily, how calmly I can tell you the whole story. I know a lot of people love Poe, but this mother. I mean, stories were good, but his writing sometimes was pretty shabby. Speaking of shabby, A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. I wonder if didn't Tolkien have J.R.R.? Maybe that's why he does it. He's an R.R. as well. I mean, the whole series of this book makes me want to cast the sword into my own brain, but the books are worth some money. Not a lot, but I only paid 50 cents, so I have a pile of these somewhere for resale. Typical fantasy rubbish. Rubbish! Now, speaking of rubbish, 1001 Spells, the complete book of spells for every poipus. And this I also bought on Halloween at the thrift store. A mother of pearl ritual to protect your child day and night when she is away from you or you are absent. About fairy magic for happy, peaceful bedtimes. If a child, what's this all? Kids shit? To become an acknowledged expert in traditional arts, crafts, or a specialty area. If you all, maybe we'll go to 666 just to scare people. 666 to prevent unjust entry of your home by process servers, unscrupulous debt collectors, or aggressive government officials. I mean, who's really under the threat of any of these three things happening? You will need 5 copper-colored coins or discs. Timing ongoing. The spell, place the coins heads up to form a diagonal cross just outside your home, saying, "You shall not enter here," bringing intimidation. "You shall not enter here," causing trepidation. "Stop inflicting fear." "You shall not enter here." Cover the coins with earth or bury them in the same formation in a planter outside the front door, saying the spell words. Leave the coins in place indefinitely. Process servers, unscrupulous debt collectors, or aggressive government officials. When you need to go for meditation and you know the other party will be unreasonable. Mediation, not meditation. Zodiac spells. An Aries dragon ritual to overcome bullying. A Milky Way ritual for becoming a millionaire or greatly improving your finances. Wishing on a star for recognition, fame, and fortune. A Taurus, there we go. A Taurus ritual for patience and perseverance when you want to say stuff your job but can't. I don't want to stuff it. I just want to go to work and do jack shit. See if there's any more Taurus rituals. Seal of Solomon ritual for the perfect wedding or special occasion. Taurus. Let's find Taurus. Taurus. Nope, doesn't give you tarot spells. Traditional way to discover who sent you an anonymous Valentine's card. A Halloween or New Year's Eve ritual for keeping yourself and your loved ones safe. Moby Dick. Herman Melville's Moby Dick. Adapted for young readers. And I didn't realize that, what does this say? Price. What's that say? Marks. I didn't realize this was painted until I saw this price tag. I thought this was just the way the cover was, since it's a Grosset Grow Up version of Moby Dick. Yeah, Moby Dick. There's a big brother. And lastly, the only astrology book you'll ever need by Joanna Martine Wolfhook, The Cusp of Pisces. Let's get some Taurus. You are Taurus with Aries tendencies. What is this? The cusp of... No, I'm May 11th. What is a cusp? There we go. Third decanate, May 11th through May 20th. The amorous nature, you and Aquarius woman. You and Sagittarius. How to attract a Virgo. Leo, Cancer. You and Gemini woman. When you meet this coquette, you are likely to become enchanted, for she casts the spell better than Merlin. However, her love affairs have a touch of the casual, and even when she becomes deeply involved or marries, there will be as much friendly feeling as heavy breathing passion. Hoes. That's all they are. Hoes. Anyone want their fortune told? Not their fortune, but their horoscope. Taurus. How to attract the Taurus. Let's see how correct this is. You and Taurus woman. Venus and Aries. Part of the body. What is a cusp? Why does it only show that? Let's see what it says. You and the planets. Aries, amorous. All right, let's see what they say about me. Champion. How to attract the Taurus. Let me see if this is right. Taurians are not going to be rushed. They like everything, including a friendship or a love affair, to be built on a firm foundation. That may require restraint and patience, but these are qualities Taurians appreciate, for they possess those traits themselves. Hint, the first move is up to you. Taurus is slow to make up his or her mind, and the opportunity will be gone if you don't seize the initiative. Show them you like to be in their company and try to amuse them. These quiet, easygoing people respond to those from whom they can borrow laughter. No, you'll find them charming companions, you won't. Interested and interesting. A tendency to be somewhat ponderous or go on at excessive length can be corrected with an apt remark at the right time. If you tell a joke, remember that Taurus's sense of humor tends to be broad, robust, Rabelaisian physical jokes strike their funny bones. If you're feeding a Taurus, feed him or her well. Take her to a restaurant. Oh my God. Don't listen to any of that bullshit. All right, that's all. That's all the books I got for today.